cracking world? I go by the name of Reese Burnz. Shout out Jenny on Rebels Entertainment. You make the rules, family. You know the vibes. And if you don't, you will. So, Reese, when I researched it, it means enthusiasm, passion, fury. I thought it was a good definition to how I feel about music. You know, I went through a couple of names when I was trying to figure out, what I was gonna do with this rap thing, and I finally settled on that because of the meaning. You know, it's kind of how I feel about music, kind of how I feel about hip hop, and just music in general. Burns, it comes from exactly what it means. Burns, setting shit on fire. You know, my inspiration for music comes honestly. I've been around music my whole life. Like, I had my grandmother used to throw parties when I was younger. She used to have parties for the younger kids and then the adults, and I would participate in both. Just because I was a grandson. So she would always play music. She had this stereo, and it started out in the beginning. It started out, I'm Spanish, so the salsa, the merengue, everything like that. And then while I was in New York, I got introduced to hip hop. And then I just started fusing everything and just, when I moved to Florida, it kind of just became, I got with some people who were recording, who finally were recording. And we used to record on those desktops with the mics on the top of the screen. And that was probably like my first ever recording. And I remember just writing my rap and trying to keep up with them because they were nice, and they were older. And that's how I started, recording and doing the rap music. But it's always been there. Music's always been a part of my life. I've always kind of been drawn to it, enticed by it. Always singing, always, trying to hold the tune, always reciting music, playing music over and over and over again. As a rapper and a music artist, so I think my music, the way I do music is therapeutic for me. So if you go back and listen to any of my stuff, it's gonna mark moments in time for me, right? Like either situations that I went through personally or things that I experienced through other people that were close to me. Because the music is therapeutic, it's very realistic. So, the legacy that I want to leave is just, you can go back to those moments in time and kind of know me for who I was during that period of time or through that experience. And I think it's timeless. I think you could carry that with you. Like, I think, if I don't hand nothing else down to my daughter or to anybody else, it could, the music could be carried to time. Like, I won't last forever, but the music will. And that's kind of the legacy I want to leave with that. The music, even if it doesn't go anywhere, like if it doesn't reach the masses, for the people that are closest to me, it's a real glimpse into who I am or who I was as a person. Oof. I don't necessarily know if I have a favorite. I am a fan, though, of how I can go back and listen to the progression and the growth in my music. Like, I can tell where I was at that point in time, and then I can listen to something else and hear how my mentality changed and how I kind of grew with the music. The music grew with me. So I'm just a fan of really being my own competition, and how every time that I've released something new, to me at least, it's always been better than my last. There's always been a constant progression and a constant elevation with how I record, the cadences, the flow, the writing ability, the melody, whatever it is. I've always been able to add something new. Like, I've learned from all my releases. Man, I would say life. life. Like I said, music is therapeutic for me, and I feel like as humans, we're always going through something. There's always a new experience to kind of document. And because I use my art and my music to kind of document those experiences, um, I feel like that's always the inspiration. And that's really why I haven't stopped. Because I'm always inspired by something. I could gain inspiration from what I'm doing right now and go turn it into a new song. That's really how I function as far as my creativity is concerned. So, that definitely is the inspiration behind that, and probably why I'll continue to do it till I can't do it no more. So some of my inspirations in music. Um, so my playlist is extensive. You're gonna find a bunch of different stuff in there. I don't just listen to rap. I get inspired by a lot of different things, but if I had to condense it to hip hop, you know, I would go. I would probably say everything from the Big Puns, the Nas's. Uh, you know, I'm inspired by people who left a message with their music, who kind of move me, who make me feel something. Even if I can't relate to every experience, I'm a fan of just that emotion of artists who invoke that emotion inside of you to feel what it was that they're going through, or what they were going through at the moment, or something past, present, or future. DMX was good at that. There's a bunch of different artists out there. Like, my time period is the time period that music made you feel something. Like when I listen to something, I'm looking to be moved by something. And that could be a club record, or that could be a record that you got to sit back and you got to listen to in the car. There's all different types of record, because honestly, the inspiration comes from everywhere. It's not like just I'm one track minded on one type of record. I like lyricism. Obviously that's my preference. Um, but I'm also a big fan of Future and what he does. I think that's one of the goals right now. I think he's at number one, and he's been there for a while. Just the way he and has that feeling, gives you that feeling behind the music. Like, he may not be the most lyrical, but you gotta go back and replay some of the shit that he's saying, because he's saying some shit, and he makes you feel something when he's putting it out there. So I'm just a fan of that. My top 5 best of all time. Man, I be looking at people crazy when they ask some of these celebrities these questions, because I'm like, it's always the same top 5. If I had to put it in no particular order either, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Uh, I would say Pun. Big Pun is 1. Um, I would say 2 has to be Nas. I'm gonna throw Joe Budden in there too. I'm a real big fan of his Moon music series. Um, I know that's probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm just saying, hey, y'all better go check his catalog, especially that Moon music series. Um, 4, I would have to say Eminem. Eminem is definitely in there. Um, Eminem is definitely in there. And 5, let's see, who can I go with that's number 5? I'm gonna go ahead and say Jay. And I know that's kind of cliche, but Jay got some stuff in there. You got to respect his catalog too. So if nothing else, here Muse is a new project that I'm working on. The first single, 915, will be releasing really, really, really soon. Um, if nothing else, your Muse is exactly that, right? It's if you are whatever it could be in reference to a relationship. It could be a romantic one. It could be a personal one. It could be a family. If nothing else, your muse is what I've been saying about how I draw inspiration from real life experiences. So those real life experiences, some of the things that I've been going through have been a muse to some of this new music that's coming. Well, not some of it, to all of the new music that's coming, if I'm being completely honest. So I kind of want to stay in that bag. In the past, I've made a series, a kind of a thing. Like I have a series called Personality Disorders. I had one, I had two. I was gonna do three, but I kind of never went back to kind of write from that bag. But I might revisit that soon as well. I don't know if nothing else, Your Muse is gonna turn into one of those EP series, but it is gonna be consistent with the title. The music, as always, is gonna come from real life experiences. You're gonna hear a lot in there. You're gonna hear a lot of what's been going on with me and what I've been inspired by, whether it be good or bad. So the Tito's Flow series was a series that I ended up doing. I actually did 1 through 8 or 9. I don't really recall, but I started them because Tito's Flow was literally that. I was my drink of choice when I was drinking was Tito's, and I would get inebriated and I would either go record or I would write or I would create these freestyles essentially, and I ended up calling it Tito's Flow just because that was my drink of choice at the time. And those freestyles were some of the most candid things that I ever did. And it turned into a series just because, I got good responses from the first couple of ones, and then I turned it into more. They weren't necessarily cohesive or anything like that. It wasn't like it was I was carrying on each one. Each one was something different. It was a different experience. It was a different beat. It was a different freestyle. But Tito's was the inspiration behind that. Tito should have definitely sponsored me for that one. So 9:15 actually stands for 9 minutes and 15 seconds. And the song is inspired by a situation that I had going on. And basically the song kind of summarizes, what it was, what could have been, how it ended up, and what I would have actually liked to happen behind my dealings with this individual. The inspiration kind of came from a response to a message that she ended up sending me. And in an effort to, condense sending paragraphs in a text message, I ended up recording a voice note that was 9 minutes and 15 seconds long. And that's where the inspiration came behind the song title and the song itself. So that's basically 9:15 basically summarizes that. So I didn't do a good job of condensing the voice note, but I felt like I condensed it really well in this new single that's coming soon. So what more could we expect from Reese Burnz? You can expect, if nothing else, your Muse coming soon. It's not just going to be one single. It's going to be an EP. I'm currently actively working on that. And honestly, I'm hoping that I continue to stay motivated, to continue to do these drops and to write this music. The creativity is always there. It's just everything else that kind of makes me pull back sometimes. But I'm real interested in seeing how far this could go. And I kind of want to stay consistent with everything that I'll be doing moving forward. So just expect a lot more music, a lot more vibes, a lot more energy, and stay tuned. So you make the rules, what it means to me, right? Honestly, I think it's something that we all should aspire for, is for us, you as an individual, to be able to make your own rules. And what that means to me is living how you want to. get into the point where you don't have to answer to nobody or look to someone else to make something happen for you. I think that's very important in life. That's what we should try to pass on to our children, and that should be part of the legacy that we leave behind, is for them to aspire to always be able to do what they want to do. You make the rules means that to me, is you being able to do what you want to do. Not what somebody else expects you to do, not what somebody else wants you to do. Um, it's you following and forging your own path, right? And giving people a blueprint to follow, or to aspire to run parallel to, because like I said, everybody has their own path, but at least you can leave inspiration for others to kind of follow in your footsteps. And that would be what that means to me. It's just doing what you want to do, being able to do what you want to do. 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Could you love me or use it as a weapon? Really sever the connection. I'm really bad at first impressions. Still for you, I'm in pursuit, but I couldn't hide my messes. No matter what I lose, now you're just a muse. Heart was on display just so it could get abused. 9:15 of truth, 9:15 of truth. Wanted you to stay, but I left it up to you. Yeah.